We pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in them.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is your boy ExtrmWill with Extreme Tech here. We're going to take a look at Salad and see what it's been doing. I think I'm at 26 machines right now. I should get up to 27 machines. It looks like it's going to take till like the end of next week. But maybe it might get in like the middle of the week. So I guess I could just throw a 3070 on it until the 4060 Ti gets here. I should have all the parts by Monday, but I don't think the graphics card gets here until Wednesday. So we'll see here. We will see. So let's take a look at what Salad's doing. Let's see, we're on the 30 days right here. It's been real solid for a little over a week, and then we just had a pretty nice little bump in the last like 2 days. So it's doing pretty good. It says last 24 hours were $34, but this says yesterday I made 36. Oh, I guess today I made 34. That makes sense, because that day is probably coming to an end. I don't know where they're at technically, what time zone they're in, but it's 2:30 a.m. here, U.S. Eastern. So, but I like that. 34, 36. That's pretty good. That's definitely much better than 30. And I was pretty, happy enough-ish with, averaging 30. So if we go to the 24 hours, pretty solidly been at about 40 cents every 15 minutes. Pretty solidly. Not like guaranteed, a little bit above, a little bit below, but it's looking like it's been doing about 40 cents every 15 minutes. Whereas like last week, I think it was pretty solidly, 35 to 30. So hopefully this will start a new trend. The last 7 days, I already kind of covered this in the other screen. We were averaging 30 and then a nice bump up yesterday. Okay, yesterday is already finalized now, and now it says we are on the new day. So yesterday I made 34, I made 36.7 the day before. So not too bad, not too bad. So as I said, I have 26 machines right now. They're all divided by cores. So we're going to start off, we're going to do the 220 cores, this 116 core. Then I have a whole bunch of 12 core server boards. Then I have, 4 8-core PCs, 5 6-core PCs, and 3 4-core PCs. So we'll get a little bit more on what's in each machine when we get in there. I want to do a little bit more work in the garage before I do another video about what's going on out there. I want to get that second rack. I want to get the power strip and the big networking port thing put in there. So I feel like there's a little bit more to show. Because I think right now, the video would still be almost identical to the video that I did where I was showing off my 20 rigs with my 27 rigs, because I just added more server boards in there. But I want to get a little closer to being a little bit more work. Oh, this one shut down. Oh, it didn't shut down. It minimized. So this first machine, we have a 20 core, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4090. It's 2 updates behind now, because I guess technically we just had update 1.6.4, which fixes a problem with 1.6.3. So, yeah, I'm not going to update anything that's currently running. I was watching Brandon Coins earlier. He decided to shut down one of his that was doing like $1, one of his 3090s that was doing like $1.70 to see if it could do something better. And he quit it in the middle of the job and picked up another $1.70 job. So I just don't want to mess around with my reliability score like that. I'd rather have it as high as possible, because I do like this, everything running jobs. Even if it's not running the best jobs, I would definitely be happier if my 4090 here was doing a $7 job. But $2.50 is so much better than calculating. I feel like, like 2 weeks ago, we had like that week straight there where just it felt like everything was just calculating. So I see some of these I still have the WSL file up to see if it's actually working. Most of them, I think, it's starting to get shut down on most of them just because I've reset everything enough times. So let's go to the next machine. So we're 20 cores, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070 Ti. So this one is probably on, it looks like it's on 1.6.3 right now, but it's in a job, so I'm not going to update to that 1.6.4 because there's no reason to. I'm definitely not going to do it while it's in the middle of a job, so because it's in the middle of a job, it's definitely not going to get updated. One of the nice things, though, with them putting the two updates so close to each other is I still feel probably like 60 or 70% of my machines still technically need both updates because they've been running solidly. So because I never wasted the time to do the last update, they still need to do the new update. And if they keep running jobs, they're going to keep running jobs until even after that next update comes out. I'm not going to stop them unless I absolutely have to. So unless I lose power. If I lose power, then everything's going to get updated because it's all going to have to get turned back on. So, but this is definitely pretty good for the 4070 Ti. It was just a little over $5 there for a minute if you were watching in the bottom corner. So how much it's making, this definitely dips a little bit when I bring it up on Chrome Remote Desktop. So we'll go to the next one here. This is my AMD Threadripper. This was my office PC. This may eventually go back to being my office PC, or it may just stay in the garage forever. I gotta figure stuff out here eventually. It has 64 gigabytes of memory. It had 128, but I didn't see any reason why I had to have 128 on my 3090. It wasn't making any more money, so I cannibalized it, and I pulled half the RAM out so I could put it into another machine. So it's just being a peasant machine now with just 64 gigabytes. I think 64 gigabytes is just fine with the 3090. I don't see any real reason to have to do more. I mean, 40 gigabytes is the most they'll pay you for anyways, so fine enough with that. It's throwing $1.74. This machine can't do $5, but whatever. I'd rather make the money. So any job is a good job right now. Okay, so now we're into the 12 cores. These are all going to be, I believe these are all the same chip. These are all the Xeon, I believe this is a version 3, the E5, 26, no, version 4, it says it right there in the title. The E5, 2650 version 4. So all of these to right here are all this exact same chip. Most of them are running 96 gigabytes of memory. I may get them all up to 96. I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. I'm working on some stuff. I don't have a problem with the way the memory set up right now, though. I think still like 40 is the most they'll pay you for, but I think if you have a little more just to try to help keep it from crashing, if there's an error with the memory, it can be good. But I think above 40 is the only thing that really matters. I did a whole video on earnings. I don't want to keep talking about the earnings in this. I want to talk about what these machines specifically are doing right now. So this one's another 4090. It's doing $2.40. With this current setup, it can do $7. So, but $2.40, that's what it's going to be. It's what it's going to be. So this is my last 4090. Same thing, 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4090, $5.66. So this is definitely better. Still, I mean, it can do $7, but not there yet. Or not there on this one. So this one looks like I just updated this one all the way up because it wasn't running. Because I don't see any red dots or errors on the screen, and the WSL is closed down. So, yeah, so this is another 12-core, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070, calculating. So hopefully it'll get a job. Let's sit for a while and see what it does. Let's see, so another 12-core, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4060 Ti, $5.60. Pretty much best case scenario out of one of these. Definitely liking that. They can get up to about $5, a little under $5, so it's pretty nice. Let me turn that volume down so we're not constantly hearing this beeping from everything saying it needs to update. It's not as bad as it was Oh, the one video was terrible. I couldn't stomach it on the one video. Okay, so that's turned down. We shouldn't have to deal with that too much. Okay, 12 core, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3090, doing $1.73. Yay! So this is still on 1.6.2. You can tell because it has this thing up on here. And so, yeah, it's not going to get updated while it's working. I'll wait till it's done. Alright, next machine, 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090, doing $1.68. Again, these 3090s, they can't all do $5. I don't think there's a reason to run more than 64 gigabytes really on them, just because I don't see a reason to have 96 on here just for this to be doing $1.70 and be making less right now than a 3060 is. So, but I might play around with it. I have a couple more sticks sitting here. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do. I'd like to probably just make 2 more machines with those, and then we'll see what I do. I'm going to try to buy some memory in bulk, so that's kind of why I'm being weird about it, I guess, and just not specifically saying what I'm doing. Alright, next machine, another 12 core. This is machine 7 of the 12 cores. 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070 Ti, calculating, so this one's all up to date. I just updated a couple minutes ago because it wasn't doing anything yet. Next machine, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3090, doing $1.68. Yay! So we have proof of concept here that 96, that extra memory just doesn't really make a difference. It's just in there because it's in there. Because I'm too lazy to take it out. You'd have to stop the machine to take it out, and I'm just not doing that. I don't need it for anything either. Like, I don't have machines sitting. So, I have enough. I think I could build. Yeah, I have enough right now where I can put. So I can put 64 in one and 96 in another one. And then I still have all kinds of 8 gigabyte sticks that I got to figure out what I'm going to do with. Alright, so let's see. We moved BCPC 9. So 12 cores, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3080. Doing $1.79. This 3080 wasn't supposed to stay in there, but because like, these 3080 10 gigabyte cards, man, they work on here. Like these cards are always working. It may not be the best, you know, but if it's gonna do that $1.79 and always be doing that $1.79, I feel kind of bad that I traded my other 3080 in for a 4060 Ti. I did a video on that too for how to do that through Newegg. I feel kind of bad about that because like my two 3080s, man, they're constantly running. This is the one that wasn't running too. This is the one that I think was being a jerk about running. But since I put it on this machine, it's been pretty constant. So you can see like it's still waiting. So it's still on 1.6.2 because it's probably may not ever get updated. All right. So this is 99. So this is another 12 core, 96 gigabytes, RTX 3090, doing $1.68. Again, 3090 can do $5. Should be doing $5. There's really not a reason for them not to be doing $5. Except they just don't have enough work for 3090s to do. So I am definitely much happier though with my 3090s all doing these $1.70 jobs than doing nothing. I'd rather, you know, I think that's my electric cost is about 20 cents a day per machine. So I mean, I'd rather be making that $1.50, you know, netting that $1.50, than, you know, than calculating and just spending 20 cents. So definitely pretty happy with it. All right, so this is the last one. This would be this is where it was a good idea for me to trade in that 3080, even though I really didn't want to do it, because that new 4060 Ti is doing $4.83. 12 cores, 64 gigabytes of memory. I wanted to put more memory in this one, but that motherboard was just, man, it was being so finicky. I don't really want to buy any from that particular supplier anymore. I don't really want to say what that particular supplier was, but man, like those last couple motherboards I got from them were just super finicky, real hard trying to get the power to turn on. So It wouldn't let me put in any more memory either. If I tried putting in 3 sticks or 4 sticks, the board just wouldn't post anymore. Then I know the memory's good because it would let me do it if I would if I would do the memory in. It wouldn't matter what 2 sticks I put in. I could put in any 2 sticks and it would boot just fine. It just would not let me put that third one in. So just super annoying, but in either slot either, which was even more annoying. So. But yeah, it's doing pretty good. $4.83. So a lot of my thought going forward is I'm really looking heavily at just investing right now and buying some more 4060 Ti's, the 16 gigabyte cards. That's my thought going forward. I don't know exactly how it's going to go because I don't know what my real growth and expansion looks on. I'm planning on. I have another 4060 Ti coming right now. I'm still waiting. This 3070 Ti right here. I'm still waiting for Newegg to send me the stuff to ship it back. If they don't send it to me in time, I maybe stop keeping that card, which I'm not. I don't really have a problem with. Because I think they were going to give me like $280 for it, which means I technically would want to sell it because I think I can buy cards for under $200 if I be real stingy about it. So anything they're going to give me more than that $280 on. I mean, a 3060 Ti right now is going to make the same amount as that 3070 Ti will, and it'll use less electricity. I'd rather be buying 3060s. I'd like to get a bunch of 3060 12 gigabyte cards real cheap, but everybody wants, nobody gets. Speaking of RTX 3060 real cheap cards, woohoo! This one was just updated, and it's already doing a 10-cent job. It's doing some like translation stuff. Normally when it gets them, you just want to let it run it out. It's going to improve your score because you finished a job. So there's no reason to mess with it. You know, it's not going to be on that 10-cent job all day. It's going to be the 10-cent job for, 15 minutes to like 2 hours. And then hopefully it will, because it showed it's more reliable, it'll go to a better one. Oh no, this is a 3060 Ti. I'm sorry. Live, I thought this was 3060. I should know better. It's up on the top. I can see 3060, but it's 3060 Ti. So this is the beginning of the 8 cores, 32 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3060 Ti. This board's giving me some finicky problems. I had 64 gigabytes of memory in here for quite a while, and then it stopped working with 64. But it runs fine with 32. So we're gonna run it with 32, and if it runs, it's going to run, and it's going to chop. So we'll go to the next one. This is another i7, 8-core, 64 gigabytes of memory. This is an RTX 3060. 10-cent job! Yay! So it's doing some of that translation stuff. I'll let it finish it, then hopefully it'll pick up a real job. Alright, another i7. 8 cores, I believe, are what we're doing. So 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3070. It's doing $1.25, and because it hasn't been updated, it's been doing this $1.25 job for a while. And I was watching another live stream where they're saying don't even bother with 3070s. To be honest with you, I mean, if you have the equipment, if you have like a bunch of 3070s and a bunch of empty computers, it's not bad to do. I wouldn't go out and be like, I wouldn't build like a $600 rig to put an RTX 3070 into. But, when I got into crypto, like I'm assuming a lot of you guys did, you couldn't just buy the graphics card. You had to buy the whole PC. So I had, 10, 15 PCs already just, sitting here, not doing anything. They were sitting in a spare bedroom. Half of them were ripped apart to pieces. And then I had to go back and re-put everything all back together again. So, but I had a whole bunch of extra PCs, so I started using them. I think the 3070s, they will get work. Right now, I'm kind of in my head, I'm telling myself that I'm building out the PCs, and then the 3070 is just like a placeholder card for now. But as long as the 3070s are getting work and making money, I'm going to let them get work and make money. And if they appear to make enough money and I can get more 3070s cheap enough, if I get 3070s for like $200 a piece, I'll buy all 3070s for $200 a piece instead of buying 4060 Ti's. So that may not be a good strategy, though. That might still be a bad strategy, but I am cheap, so we'll see. But the 3070s, they are working. With the 64 gigabytes of memory, too, I've seen these do like $1.88. They should be able to do up to like $2.40, but I just don't think there's that many people really ordering jobs like that. I don't think the customers are ordering the jobs like that, so I don't think you're too likely to see it. So here we go. So we have another 3070. Here we go. As I said, I can make more money. This one's on a Ryzen 7, 8-core, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3070. This one, we turned it on, said it was doing $1.88. Now it says it's doing $1.82. 3070s can make money. They can chop. I think if it has the 32 gigabytes, I think it can still do this with 32. I think it's just more likely to pick this job up with 64. I think with 32, it still could. With 16, I think it might still be able to. It's just not likely. With 8 gigabytes of memory, I think it still could. It's just less likely, significantly less likely. I think as you add more memory in, it makes it easier for you to pick up more jobs, increases the list of jobs you could pick up because you meet the minimum requirements for memory. And then you're more solid, stable, less likely to drop. So, but I think at 40 gigabytes of memory is where they put the pricing difference in how much they charge. That's like the most someone can pay for. So with the ones where you say that have more than, with your machines that have more than 40 gigabytes of memory, you can make more money from the memory. So, all right, that's the first set. Chrome Remote Desktop will only let me have 20 open at a time, so that's not even 20. So now let's get in and let's look at my 6 cores. These are all PCs from here on in. The 8 cores were all PCs, the 6 cores, and the 4 cores are all PCs. So I have 5 6 cores and 4 cores. I think some of this stuff gets to be a little bit more interesting, but right now it's all kind of starting to feel like the same to me. I feel like I've done all my observations on all this, so none of this is as mind-blowing to me. I feel like I've got it all quantified out. So this is an i5, 6-core, 32 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3060 Ti. This one's shopping. This one's fully up to date. I just updated it. I believe most of these are probably updated. All right, let's go to the next one here. i5, 6-core, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3060, $2.16. Yeah. So you can see on this one, it's getting paid that little extra bump for the 40 gigabytes of memory. You can see right now it's using 35. So this job is probably rated for 40 gigabytes of memory. So I'm making that little bit more, which is why it's over the $2 mark. So I definitely like that. I think this one looks like it should be fully up to date. There's no red dot here telling me I've got to update. So this machine should be fully up to date. This is one of the ones I already updated probably half an hour ago when I got home. So nice to see they're already picking up work. Wait, let's go back and look at that. Is that? No, this one can't be. I don't know why this one doesn't say it needs to be updated. Because I don't think I reopened this WSL file. This might still be 1.6.3. I don't know why this one's not telling me it wants to update. I don't know. Now I feel confused. Unless I did do it and I did open the WSL file on that one and I didn't open them on all the other ones. I don't know. Let's go to the next machine and move on. This one's AMD Ryzen 5 3600 6-core 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3070 Ti. This one's going 10 cents. Not uncommon for this machine to do like $1.77. I think I've seen them do like $2.44 with the 64 gigabytes of memory. So I'm a little torn with that other one. I thought I did that about a week ago, and they still haven't sent me the tracking ship yet to the shipping slip thing. So if they don't send me the shipping slip thing, it's probably dumb of me to keep it because I was going to trade it in, but we'll see. I do have a second one sitting right here that's supposed to get traded in. The new card's already on the way, but they haven't sent me the packing slip or the UPS slip. I can't even think. I don't know. I can't think of what it's called because I've been rambling for too long. This is already gone way too long. All right, next machine. Next. All right, so we are on a i5 6-core, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3070. This one's not working. This machine's kind of finicky about working. I don't really know or figured out why. I'm hoping it all works fine now. Thinking it looked like it's pretty good and stable now for a little bit. I think I updated the Windows driver on here. So I'm hoping maybe that was all it needed. So all I need to do is see it start picking up work regularly, and that would be awesome. Next one. Another Ryzen 5, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3060 Ti, doing $1.85. Nice. This is one of my 3060 Ti's that I blew up trying to mine. Not RDX. DNX. Trying to mine, is it Dynex? DNX? I can't remember what DNX stands for. Dynex makes sense. But trying to mine DNX, I think I blew up all the ports on this card. So I don't have any video out on this card. But it still works for mining. And it still works for this. Just if you're going to mine with it, you can't put it in the first slot of your miner. But every other slot, it seems it'll work fine in. But right now, it'll let me remote Chrome Desktop into it. So, nice. This next card, I think it's the same thing. Another one I blew up on Dynex. Nice. 10 cents. This might be on the new update right now. This is a 10-year-old i7. So it's 4 cores, 16 gigabytes of DDR3. So this is my most piece of junk machine. But I think like on the last video I did, it was doing $1.88. It did that for like 2 days, and then it finished the job. So it's a good working machine. It's making money, chugging along. You know, this was in the very back of the closet. I completely forgot I still even had this machine. As this was in my office. Like if you've followed the channel for a really, really long time, this was the machine I was originally using when I started doing YouTube for Marvel Contest, the Champions content over on the gaming channel. And then we had a power storm and the fan blew up and I didn't know what blew up on it. I thought the motherboard wasn't working right because like the computer would work fine under low load, but as soon as I'd get it under a high load, the fan was broken, so the fan wouldn't work. So the CPU would overload, and the whole thing would freeze and crash. So I'd get super angry every time I tried live streaming because I was doing real good and constant with the live streaming then, and then it all fell apart. But this is that machine. This is that machine. And then when I got into doing all the crypto, I figured I would take a look at it and I figured out it was the fan. I started learning how to do a better job at troubleshooting everything. And then I put a fan on it, and then we put this one. It was in my wife's office for a while. And then a couple of years ago, we started doing all the crypto. I was like, hey, I have like these 10 extra computers I'm not using. How about we put one of these nicer computers that looks really pretty and new with all fancy RGBs? How about we put that one in your office? And so I threw this one way off to the side, completely forgot about it. It was buried in the back of the closet, pulled it out, brushed all, dusted all the dust off of it, brushed all the dust off, and I think I put an SSD in this one. So this one's actually running probably a 500 terabyte. Is that right? 500 gigabyte, 500, half a terabyte, 500 gigabyte SSD, I want to say. Let's look and see. Ugh. This PC, oh yeah, it's already up there. Yeah, 500 terabyte SSD. So this is the only one I have that's not running on an M.2. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure this is the only one that's not running on M.2. Actually, I probably shouldn't even say that. I probably have a couple others that are also running. That might be. Because when you get into these PCs, I didn't really look that hard into what was in all these. Most of them I had upgraded to a bigger M.2 from trying to do Chia. Because I went real hard in Chia. So I had a whole bunch of extra SSDs lying around from Chia. No, this one... No. I didn't... Okay. So I didn't buy this SSD. I was thinking I did. Because I couldn't have. Because it wouldn't have that background on it. This SSD came out of one of my other computers. That's out in the garage. Because this is an Ironside hard drive. But it is not in an Ironside PC. That's Ironside. Right there. Let's minimize this. Let's give them a quick shout out. Ironside PCs, they do amazing work for custom PCs. Some of the best PCs I've ever got are from Ironside. When I bought all of those computers, because that was the only way to get the graphics card during the bull run, all of my Ironside PCs are still running solid. Zero problems, zero issues. I cannot throw anything at them to make them crack. They're amazing. Skynet is an Ironside PC. This one is a hard drive that I pulled out because I'm guessing then in those other ones I probably put like a 2 terabyte hard drive in there. And I probably pulled this out and just threw this in a box and didn't even realize this was in there. And then I'm like, hey, I need a half terabyte I can throw on here. I was like, hey, this one's a half terabyte and it already has Windows installed on it. So we just keep the Windows installed from that and throw it in. So that's a little bit of history on this thing that I found in the back of the closet that's still making money. Because salad is cool like that, which is one of the things too. I tried running this on Chia. And it wouldn't run on Chia. So I got really mad. I got really, really mad. I'm like, why won't this run on Chia? Because I pulled the other machine out because I think it had like an 8-core in it. So I'm like, this 8-core is definitely going to run salad. Let me put this thing in here to try to run Chia. It wouldn't run Chia. So I got real mad. I'm like, okay, whatever. It won't run Chia. I have 100 terabytes just not doing anything on Chia. Whatever. I'll just pack them up and maybe I'll get back to it later on if this AI stuff doesn't seem to work. But then I decided, well, let's see for fun if this will work with salad. And then let's see even more for fun if I put a broken video card in this old machine, if this thing will work. This thing brings me way too much joy. Way too much joy in all of this. Like when this was the one, the $1.88 the other day, it made me so happy. So happy. I love when we can show this particular machine working. All right, let's move on to the next one. That's way too much background on that one machine. All right, so this one looks like I just updated it. i3, 4-core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. Not working right now, which I guess is why it just got updated. But normally this will do anywhere between like the $1.50 to $2.40 range, I want to say. So RTX 3070s, I think it can be kind of hard living for them on salad. Maybe I should make a video on just the 3070s one day. I'm liking some of this other video stuff that I did. Like I really like the one that I did the other day on theorizing on what 10, 30, 60 Ti's would do, because somebody had asked. So I thought that video was pretty cool. I should do one on just my 3070s and show just what my 3070s are doing. Maybe I'll do that in like 2 days to kind of offset so I still have some content coming out. But I think like with the 3070s, like I think getting work with the 3070 is going to be real rough, like way more rough than I think a lot of the other cards, just because there's so many 3070s out there. And I think there's a lot of people like me who are like, yeah, let's just run everything. Just take all this computer stuff I have sitting in the house, every little part and piece I have sitting around. Let's get it all rigged together and get another one going and get another machine up and I still have one 3070 sitting upstairs, still in an Octominer case, ready to come down here and ready to make its money. So, we'll see. We'll see. Alright, last machine. Good old reliable, still on 1.6.2. I would be happy if this thing can stay on 1.6.2 just like in perpetuity. This other one too, I had a 3080 in it and it happened to be idle the day I was looking to trade in. So it got traded in, but I really did not want to because these two, they don't sit idle at all. Like these 4 cores that I have. This one only has 32 gigabytes of memory. To be honest with you, because this machine's never shut down long enough for me to be able to put 64 in it. It's just been running solid and constant since this whole thing started. I am so happy and impressed with this machine. This machine boggles my mind. Takes my mind and it puts it in a bottle. I'm pretty sure that's an Anchorman reference. I know it's Will Ferrell. It might not be Anchorman, though. That might be one of the other ones. I'm going to have to look and see what that was in. If you know, what movie was that in that Will Ferrell said mind-boggling? I want to say that's Fire and Ice. The ice skating one he did with the guy from Napoleon Dynamite. That's what it's in. It's like your mind's in a bottle. That's not the phrase. Yeah, it is. Alright. So anyways, i3, 4-core, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3080, $1.74. This machine's always reliable. It'll get updated. You know, I guess whenever it stops running. Most likely I have to lose power. That's the only reason those machines have ever updated, is from me losing power. So, yeah, I think salad earnings definitely, you know, gotta like when the salad earnings look like they're going up. You know, definitely a good thing. Still technically not necessarily the best. Like, I could see other platforms coming in and possibly being better, but I have so many doubts. Like, I kind of want to... I'm watching a bunch of videos on Flux. I've still learned nothing about Flux, nothing about whether or not you're actually getting paid on Flux, or if there's any money there. Still feel like I know nothing about it. All of the videos I've watched on have been completely useless. The biggest thing I think I've heard that I understand is I think like your power draw is significantly more, which would be one of those things that I'd have a hard time trying to really want to go to that. Like, that money's got to be real legit for me to want to be just like doubling my power output. Because if I'm going to make equal money or less, I don't want to be doubling my power or tripling my power or quadrupling my power. Like, I know Flux knows how to take the real electric usage out of a GPU, you know, from them coming from the mining and all that. But like, I'm averaging 20 cents per machine per day right now for electric. That's insane. That's like unheard of. So like, I do not want to be going back to a point where I'm in like crypto mining where I'm spending, you know, $700 a month on my electric bill right now. Like, my electric bill is pretty reasonable and pretty cheap right now with even with 26 machines on it, because I'm using such a small amount of electric. So I really like Salad for that. Like, this is not pounding on my machines. This feels like I'm running everything for free. So I'm a little worried about the idea of trying to go to something like Flux, where even if I could make a little bit more, overall I think I would just be like shooting myself in the foot. Oh man, we're at almost 40 minutes. Alright, I gotta call this quits. This is supposed to go super fast and direct. And yeah, we're just gonna call it there. Yeah, I don't want to burn power. I just want to make money. So, peace. Like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, come on back. I will try not to be so long-winded the next one. I don't know where that came from. We were chugging along, making great time, and then, man, I just started rambling. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.